everyone, I Rajeshwari Shirkanhalli welcome you all in Nagesh Karasgi Orchid School channel. Students, today we are going to start a new chapter, that is chapter number 11, Work and Energy. So all of you do work, isn't it? You sit for hours to study and you write exam and get good marks. But exactly according to physics, what is meant by a work done? Whether sitting at one place and studying for hours is called work or not? And what is energy? We all know that we require energy for doing any work, isn't it? We get that energy from food. If one day we don't eat anything, we feel very much tired. We are not able to do our work properly. Why? Because energy is must to do any work. So there is a relationship between work and energy. So let us begin with the chapter. So let us see the introductory part of chapter 11, work and energy. So these are the two concepts which we use in our daily life, work and energy. But now in this chapter we are going to see what is work, what is energy from the point of view of science. That is, according to physics, what is called as work and what is called as energy. So let us begin with the chapters. In the previous few chapters, we have talked about ways of describing the motion of objects, the cause of motion and gravitation. So in our previous chapters, we have discussed about how the motion is described. In chapter 8, motion, we have discussed about motion. We have discussed that motion is relative. It depends on the person. For some people, one object is in motion, and for some other, the same object is at rest. Similarly, we have also discussed the cause of motion and the gravitation. Now, another concept that helps us understand and interpret many natural phenomena is work. Closely related to work are energy and power. So there is a relationship between work and energy, similarly work and power. In this chapter, we shall study all these concepts. Okay, so let's begin with the introductory part of the chapter. All living beings need food, isn't it? Without food, we cannot survive. So not only human beings, all the living beings need food. Living beings have to perform several basic activities to survive. We call such activities as life processes. So what are the life processes? These are some basic activities like movement, growth, then digestion, circulation of the blood, excretion, etc. So these are some of the life processes which each and every living being has to perform. The energy for these processes comes from food. So we get energy to perform all these basic functions because we consume food. We get energy from food. If we don't eat food, we don't get energy. And if we don't get energy, we can't perform any of these life process. We need energy for other activities like playing. Okay, so for playing also energy is required, for singing, for reading, writing, thinking, jumping, cycling and running. So not only these, there are many activities. This is just one small example that we require energy for different activities. You can include many more activities to this list. For performing each and every activity, we require energy. So activities that are strenuous require more energy. So activities are of different types. Some activities require less energy and some physical activities require more energy. Okay, now for example, if you are having a heavy load and climbing the steps and going to second or third floor, obviously you require more energy as compared to the energy required by sitting at one place and writing notes, isn't it? So activities which are strenuous require more energy. Animals too get engaged in activities. For example, they may jump and run. So, for jumping and running also energy is required by the animals. They have to fight, move away from enemies, find food or find a safe place to live. So, animals require energy for different activities, that is for jumping, running, for fighting, then for moving away from the enemies, for finding food or finding a safe place to live, means for finding shelter, etc. Also, we engage some animals to lift weights, carry loads, pull carts or plow fields. So, some animals are used for heavy work, like for lifting the heavy weights, for carrying loads, pulling carts or plowing fields. In this we can include cattle, we can include donkeys. They perform heavy work, camels, horses, etc. All such activities require energy. So, each and every living organism require energy. Now, think of machines. Till now we have discussed about living beings. Now, machines, they are non-living things. So, what do you think? Machines also require energy or not? Yes, they also require energy. List the machines that you have come across. What do they need for their working? For working of the machines also some energy is required, either they are in the form of some fuel like petrol, diesel, or they are in the form of electricity, or they are in the form of coal, etc. Why do some engines require fuel like petrol and diesel? Because machines get energy from these fuels, that is from petrol and diesel, then only they work. Now, think of the different automobiles. If you do not fill petrol or diesel in them, do they run? No. So, they work because of presence of the fuels like petrol and diesel as they get energy. Why do living beings and machines need energy? For performing any kind of activity, energy is required by living as well as non-living things. So, why do living beings and machines need energy? For performing work. So, let us see what is meant by work. So, our next concept is work. What is work? There is a difference in the way we use the term work in day-to-day life and the way we use it in science. Okay, so, as I have just told that generally we call it as work for doing any kind of activities. For example, sitting at one place and studying, or sitting at one place and surfing on computer, or having a heavy load on the head and standing at one place. These all are the examples of work which we use in our day-to-day life. But are they really examples of work according to science? Let us find out. To make this point clear, let us consider a few examples. So, the first example, not much work in spite of working hard. So, sometimes we feel that we have worked hard, but actually not much work is done according to science. Now, for example, Kamli is preparing for examinations. She spends lot of time in studies. You also study for exam, isn't it? So, here Kamli is preparing for examinations. For that she has to study. So, she spends lot of time in studies. What she do? She reads books. So, reading books also is must for preparation for exams. So, Kamli spends lot of time, she read books, then she discusses, she draws diagrams, she organizes her thoughts, collects question papers, attends classes, discusses problems with her friends and performs experiments. So, students, you also do all these things, isn't it? You also read books, you also draw diagrams, You also whatever understand, you organize your thoughts. Then you collect question papers of previous examinations. Similarly, you attend classes and discuss the problems with your friends and perform the experiments in the lab. So, Kamli also does all these things. So, she expends a lot of energy on these activities. So, as we have discussed in the beginning of the chapter that for doing any kind of activity, energy is required. So, she expends means she uses a lot of energy on these activities. In common parlance, she is working hard, isn't it? In common practice, in common words, we say that she is working hard because she is doing so many things, reading books, drawing diagrams, organizing the thoughts, collecting question papers, attending classes, discussing problems and performing experiments. All these activities are done by Kamli, means she has worked hard. All this hard work may involve very little work if we go by the scientific definition of work. So, whatever activities you perform, do they all called as work or not? For knowing that, first you should know the exact definition of the work according to science. So, let us see what is work as per scientific definition. You are working hard to push a huge rock. Let us say the rock does not move despite all the effort. Okay, so if suppose there is a huge rock, a very big heavy rock and big sized, and you want to push it. So, you have to work hard for that. You have to put your all the energy to push that. But if suppose in spite of doing all these things, the rock does not move at all, you get completely exhausted by pushing it hard, by utilizing so much energy on this. However, you have not done any work on the rock as there is no displacement of the rock. So, in spite of applying so much energy, here the rock has not moved from its place. It is as it is, means according to science you have not done any work on this rock. Why? Because there is no displacement of the rock, means rock has not moved, it is on the same place as it is. See the next example. You stand still for a few minutes with a heavy load on your head. Okay, suppose there is a heavy bag, heavy load, something is there on your head and you are standing still at the same place for few minutes. But because of that heavy load on the head, you get tired, isn't it? You get tired because of this. You have exerted yourself and have spent quite a bit of your energy. So, standing with heavy load on the head is a tiresome activity. You get tired and you spent lot of energy also on this. But are you doing work on the load? The way we understand the term work in science, work is not done. So, when we call it as work is done, only if you are moving with the load, then there is a displacement of the load, then the work is done. But if you are standing still with the load on the head, then there is no work done on the load. Now, let us see the another example. You climb up the steps of a staircase and reach the second floor of a building just to see the landscape from there. Okay, suppose the scene of the landscape is very good from the second floor, it looks very beautiful. So, for that you have to go to second floor. So, you climb the steps of the staircase and you reach the second floor of the building. You may even climb up a tall tree. If we apply the scientific definition, these activities involve a lot of work. So, as per science, these two examples, that is climbing the steps of staircase and climbing a tall tree, are the examples of work done as per science. Why? Because again there is displacement. When you are climbing means you are reaching to second floor. From the ground floor to second floor you have reached. That means work is done. So there is displacement. So this is work is done. Similarly, while climbing a tree also there is work done, because you are changing your position, you are changing your place. So in day to day life we consider any useful physical or mental labor as work. Activities like playing in a field, talking with friends, humming a tune, watching a movie, attending a function are sometimes not considered to be work. So for any kind of activity which is a physical activity or a mental labor, we consider them as work in our day to day life. But according to science, all these are not examples of work. Now for example, when you are playing in a field, yes, it is a work as per science. But when you are talking with friends, there is no work done. Humming a tune means no work. Watching a movie sitting at one place, no work. Attending a function, no work. So these are not considered to be work. What constitutes work depends on the way we define it. We use and define the term work differently in science. To understand this, let us do the following activity. So let us see what is exactly meant by work done as per science. So to know that, let us see the first activity of this chapter, activity 11.1. We have discussed in the above paragraphs a number of activities which we normally consider to be work, isn't it? We have seen in these above paragraphs in the introductory session that the different activities are considered as the activities which are related to work done in our day to day life. For each of these activities, ask the following questions and answer them. What is the work being done on? Means on which object work is done. What is happening to the object? Whether the object is as it is or the object has moved to some other place. Then who or what is doing the work? Who is doing the work? So you need to answer these, then you will get the exact definition of work. What is the work being done on which object you have done the work, and what happened to that object after doing the work, and who is doing the work. Now for example, when you are pushing a heavy load or a huge rock, then you are doing the work on that rock. But what is happening to the object? If the rock is not moving, means nothing happened to the object. And who is doing the work? When you are pushing that huge rock, means you are doing the work. Okay, now let us move to the scientific concept of work. Let us see actually what is meant by work as per science. To understand the way we view work and define work from the point of view of science, let us consider some situations. Okay, so here again some examples are given which we will see, and we will think whether the work is done or not according to science. Push a pebble lying on a surface. The pebble moves through a distance. Okay, so here what is the situation? There is a pebble and you have to push that pebble which is there on a surface. The result is the pebble moves through a distance. You exerted a force on the pebble. For pushing this, you need to apply a force. So you exerted a force on the pebble and the pebble got displaced. So after pushing the pebble has moved through a distance, means it got displaced. So in this situation, work is done. So see here, even if you require very less energy to move a pebble, but still according to science work is done. Why? Because here force is applied on the pebble and pebble has moved, means there is displacement of the pebble. So as per science work is done. Second situation, a girl pulls a trolley and the trolley moves through a distance. Okay, so in the second situation, a girl pulls a trolley and the trolley moves through a distance. Means here also the girl has exerted a force on the trolley, isn't it? For pulling a trolley, the force has to be applied on the trolley, and trolley moves means it is displaced. Therefore, work is done. From these two examples, you must have thought something that work is related to force and displacement. Okay, let us continue. The third situation is lift a book through a height. To do this, you must apply a force, isn't it? If suppose a book is kept on a tabletop or somewhere and you have to lift that book to a certain height, for that you have to apply the force. The book rises up. The book rises up means exactly what happens to the book? It gets displaced, it changes its position. So, there is a force applied on the book and the book has moved, hence work is done. So, work is done in this case also when you just lift a book. Why? Because for lifting a book, force is required, force has to be exerted on the book and book gets displaced. It rises up means it gets displaced. So, work is done according to science. So, a closer look at the above situations reveals that two conditions need to be satisfied for work to be done. So, two conditions are must. These two conditions should be satisfied, then only we call it as work is done according to science. Which are those two conditions? The first one is a force should act on an object, and second, the object must be displaced. So, force and displacement, these two factors are very important. When a force is acted on the object and the object has got displaced, then only we call it as work is done. Now, in all these three situations we have seen that force is exerted and displacement is occurred. Now, in pushing the pebble, force is required and pebble moves means displacement is there. A girl pulls a trolley means she applies force on trolley and trolley moves means there is displacement. And in third situation, when you lift a book through a height, you apply force on the book and the book rises up means there is a displacement in the book. So, force and displacement are the two factors which are responsible for work to be done. If any of these above conditions does not exist, work is not done. Okay, if suppose you are applying a lot of force, but there is no displacement, as we have seen in the one above example, that when you are pushing a heavy, huge rock, but the rock does not move, means here you are applying a lot of force on the rock, but there is no displacement of the rock. So, work is not done. And if suppose the object is in motion, but no force is applied on that, then also there is no work done according to science. So, this is the way we view work in science. A bullock is pulling a cart. The cart moves. There is a force on the cart and the cart has moved. Do you think that work is done in this situation? Yes, obviously. A bullock is pulling a cart means here a bullock is applying the force on the cart and the cart moves means the cart gets displaced. So, here bullock has performed work on the cart and cart got displaced. So, it is an example of work done. So, students, I think it is clear to you all that according to science, work is done only when there is a force and there is a displacement. If any of these two factors is missing, then no work is done. Now, let us move to the next activity, that is activity 11.2. Think of some situations from your daily life involving work. List them. So, what you have to do is think some situations from your daily life. So you can think your daily routine also from morning to night and just list them which involve work. Now you know what is meant by work according to science. If you are sitting at one place and doing study, you are completing the notes, then it is no work according to science. So you should not list that activity. You have to list the activities in which you have applied the force and there is a displacement on the object on which you have applied the force. So you have to make a list of such situations. Discuss with your friends whether work is being done in each situation. Try to reason out your response. If work is done, which is the force acting on the object and what is the object on which the work is done. So after listing that, you have to think about your items in the list, your activities in the list, whether in each activity actually the work is done or not, and if work is done, then which is the force acting on the object and what is the object on which the work is done. Similarly, you have to also think what happens to the object on which work is done. Okay, so as we have discussed that the object should move, means there should be displacement, then only work is done. So this is the second activity which you are going to perform. Okay, now after that let us move to the next activity, that is activity 11.3. Think of situations when the object is not displaced in spite of a force acting on it. Okay, you have to think of few situations in which you have applied the force, but object is as it is, it has not displaced. Also think of situations when an object gets displaced in the absence of a force acting on it. So just think these both the cases. Here in this you have to think of situations where force is applied but there is no displacement, and here there is displacement but no force is acting on that. List all the situations that you can think of for each and discuss with your friends whether work is done in these situations. So we have discussed that for doing work as per science, both the factors are important, force and displacement. If force is there but no displacement, means no work is done, and if displacement is there but no force, means again there is no work done. So in both these situations no work is done. So you have to list all such situations which you can think of for each, means force is there but no displacement and displacement is there but no force, and discuss with your friends whether work is done in these situations. So students, today we have discussed the introductory part of the chapter. So we have started with the chapter work and energy, and we have seen that in spite we spend a lot of energy and we say that I have worked hard, we have worked hard, but it is not work according to science. So work has a different concept, it has a different definition as per science. Okay, so sitting at one place and doing some work, and if there is no displacement in the object on which you have done the work, then no work is done at all. So what science says, what physics says, that the force must be applied on some object and that object should displace, means it should move from one place to another place, then only we call it as work is done. Sitting and writing for hours, sitting and reading the answers are not the examples of work done as per science. But if suppose you are just moving a pebble or climbing the steps, climbing the tree, then there is work done. So these two factors are important, one is force, second one is displacement. So students, you are going to perform these all the three activities, activity 11.1, 11.2 and 11.3. Similarly, you are just going to think that all the activities which you perform from morning to night, whether in all these activities you are really doing work or not. According to science, you are going to think of. Okay, isn't it? Now generally when we say work is done, that was okay till now, but after knowing scientifically about the work, you should think that whether really you are doing the work or not done or not doing. So when work is done, when you apply the force and there is displacement on the object on which you apply the force, then only we call it as work is done. Okay, so we have discussed about this introductory part of the chapter today. Now we have also seen that both these things are compulsory, that is force and displacement. Now remaining concepts we will discuss in our coming sessions. So here we will stop. Just go through the concepts and do the activities and make your own question bank. Thank you.